What's up, Deadheads? It's Brian Castrillo, and did you watch the Fear the Walking Dead mid-season finale? Then you saw that post-credit scene. Was that Troy Otto? I may have the answer. I'm going to talk about 3 characters, one of which is Troy Otto, and I'm going to tell you why it could be them and why it won't be them. But let's get down to it and watch that post-credit scene. All right, let's talk about this. Radio, important, very important. As you go through this, you'll notice military equipment. Pay attention to those hands. Very important. I looked at markings on the ring finger. Look at the hair. Very important, that hair. Military equipment. Got a map of different areas marked on a map. Victor Strand's glasses. There is the hammer that looks like the hammer that hit Troy Otto in the head. It's got to be Troy, right? The bag that Troy Otto had. Alicia's metal claw, like her bone hand. What is going on? Who is this looking for him?
They are no longer a threat to you or your children. If you lost a child, if you think they might be taken, come to the following coordinates and send an SOS on this channel. 31 degrees, 51 minutes north. 81 degrees, 10 minutes west. We will find you. We will do our best to reunite you with your children. We'll make up for all the damage Padre did to you. I repeat, my name is Madison Clark. If you can hear this message, you're in a territory Padre once patrolled. Padre has fallen. They are no longer a threat to you or your children. If you lost a child, if you think they might have been taken, come to the following coordinates.
All right, what did you think? You saw that post-credit scene now. Now let's talk about it. The radio, very important. The top of the hair, the blonde hair that's kind of curling down. As this person's writing down, I paid attention to the hands. Notice the markings, like the knuckles. And then there was also one of the fingers. It looked like some sort of scar, not really sure, but I think that's important. Obviously, the map showing the different locations. There's military equipment across the table, like the canteen, that scope. I'm not sure what that one thing was behind, like at the end. It looked like it was a little blurry, but then we see Victor Strand's glasses. We see the hammer that looks like the one that hit Troy Otto. The bag, which was left there, which was the same, looked like the same bag when Madison left that hammer down too. And then also Alicia's bone claw. So this person is coming. It's got to be Troy Otto, right? I mean, why would he have the hammer, the bag? Well, let's talk about it. Now, here's why it's not Troy Otto. When Madison struck him, he was literally underground, under the dam. The dam exploded. You see the water taking him away, and that's got to be an amazing amount of force. Not to mention, right before that, they show the side of his head, and it looks like he's a hole. There's no way he's surviving that. But let's say, hypothetically, he did. Let's say one of the Proctor's guys that are still around, maybe that medical guy is still around. I don't remember if he died or not. But let's say, you know, someone saves him. There were technically 2 boats that were left there because Madison, Nick, and Victor only took one of the 3. So let's say somehow he saves it. This is why it could be Troy. Now, Troy, I remember his hair was kind of curly. It didn't seem like that same type of hair, but who knows what happens in the apocalypse. You know, hair changes. I'm not going to worry too much about that or the color. It is what it is. The radio, now in all that military equipment, of course, Troy is former military. He would know where he could find a radio, some of that military equipment. He can go back to the base. He knows where the stuff is. I think he could easily find that if he survived that somehow. So that kind of answers that. Of course, maybe he picks up that hammer and that bag. I can see that happening. Now, Troy seemed to have a thing for Madison, so there's motive to come back. He hears Madison on the radio. Of course, that's going to drive that. He's also upset about, and he blames Madison for his father and his brother and the ranch. That's all Madison's fault in that. And then remember the spoon to the eye. Of course, that's going to be in his memory. And then Madison literally took a hammer and left him to the head and left him for dead. So obviously these are reasons why it could be Troy and he could be coming back. What do you guys think? Which is more stronger? Now let's go to the second one, Proctor John. Now, his status is unknown. Last we saw him before the dam blown up, one of Proctor's men grabbed him and they went somewhere. That's all we know. We have no idea if he's alive or dead, but you know the rule in the Walking Dead universe, if you don't see a body, you could still be alive. Obviously, the dam blowing up, and whether maybe, again, there's 2 boats down there, so they could have grabbed one. They could have other things to get away from, so who knows on that. Here's some of the big things to keep in mind about Proctor John. Now, another reason why it might not be him is because he recently had surgery, so he's obviously going to be sore. Could he have gotten away in time? That's for anyone to judge. I don't know. But here's some big things about him. Now, one of the things is he had a deal with Alicia, and she said, if you promise to save my mom, I will go to you. I will go with you where you want me to. So obviously, by this dam being broken, he's going to be upset. He's going to find Madison responsible for the dam, and as well as his people getting killed. So those are things that he's going to be upset about. But the key thing that's really big with him is that deal. He said that he wanted Alicia to go with him to Houston. Now, Houston, an interesting thing about Houston, it is, if you look it up, it's literally about 4 hours away from Padre Island. Now, Padre, we don't know where that location is. I don't think they really disclosed that specifically, but I'm going to just go on the chance that it could be Padre Island, because that'd be the most obvious. But Houston is 4 hours from Padre. Proctor John had plans to go to Houston. Obviously, Alicia went against that, so he would be pissed off about that. That would put him roughly in the area of Padre, if that is the place. So Proctor John makes a lot of sense. He would obviously have a beef with Madison, and he would be a great character to come back, just like Troy would. And you can obviously see there would be great tension between them two. But here's the one that I am probably leaning to the most. That military equipment, that radio. Who else could have access to that? Maybe, obviously, Troy could have got it. Obviously, Proctor John. But what about Althea? She has access to CRM equipment. She literally had a helicopter when she was with Isabel. Who knows if Isabel's still around, but Althea obviously had some equipment from her. That radio could have easily been to her, with her. We know that, you know, she was listening, trying to find the CRM, trying to find people. That's guaranteed. Military equipment, CRM obviously would have that. She knows Victor. She knows Madison. So she would have picked them up. She could have found Alicia and took the arm. Maybe she's just delivering a message. The hair. Granted, she wasn't blonde in the show, but Maggie Grace's hair is literally just like that. Her hair kind of comes down, kind of swoops down like that. Even in Fear the Walking Dead, it swooped down like that. Maggie Grace in real life is a blonde, so it literally fits. But the biggest thing was those hands. Those hands are to me, they're too feminine to be Troy. I mean, I could be wrong. They could have put a stand-in, whatever. But one of the things I was looking at is, I think it was this finger on her. On the hands, it was, or this one, it looks like there's a scar there. But the biggest one is when they picked up the map. These right here, look at it again. It looked like they had circles. And if you look at Maggie Grace's hands, they look very similar to those hands. So in my opinion, I think it's Al. It would make sense for her to come back, connect to the CRM. She had a connection to the CRM with Isabel. It makes sense going forward to push the other shows and bringing everything together. But what do you guys think? Who do you think is in that post-credit scene? I'm going with Althea.